Today I'll be reading chapter 16 of the 5-Second Rule book. Chapter 16. Pursuing Passion. There's a voice that doesn't use words. Listen. Rumi. Over the years, I have received lots of questions about how to find your passion and purpose. Not once have I ever been asked to help someone think about their passion. That's because finding your passion is an active process, and you will find that the 5-second rule is an incredible tool as opportunities start to appear. What stops people from finding their passion is that can't get out of their thoughts and move into action. When you use the 5-second rule to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, push yourself to start exploring and lean into opportunities as they appear, you will be shocked where it leads. Start exploring. How do you explore? Hire the best guide you can find, your curiosity. Your curiosity is how your instincts get you to pay attention to what your heart really cares about. If you can't stop thinking something, make something your new hobby. Also, pay close attention to envy. If you find yourself jealous of someone else, explore that feeling. What aspect of their life are you jealous of? This may give you a clue into what you really want for yourself. Next, push yourself to take simple steps to explore that subject. Read about it, watch video tutorials, talk to people, take a class, and write a plan. You will be surprised by what happens over time. Your passion could be photography. When Chris first discovered the 5-second rule 4 years ago, he was a CIO at a bank, and he still is. And he had always loved photography. He used the rule to force himself to explore his passion. And 2 magazine covers and multiple awards later, he's a professional photographer. Chris Auditore. Mel Robbins. So Friday prior to the Stugger Moon band shoot at Sewanee, I received an email from an amazing woman named Mel Robbins. Mel's principles of the 5-second rule has led me down the path of 4 covers, multiple awards, and voted finest photographers, just to name a few things. Her principle is simple. If you have an idea, act on it in the first 5 seconds. Simple, right? Not so for a lot of us. Ideas pop up into our creative heads all the time, and we just let them drift away. So after watching a TED Talk about 4 years ago, I was convinced I could do this. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you that creatively, it is amazing. When an idea pops into your head, either write it down or just do it. It's really simple. Maybe you are interested in launching a gourmet food business. It doesn't matter if you've never done it before. In today's world, you have so many resources at your disposal to help you explore. Take Eric as an example. He lives in Cambodia and had an idea to start an export business. He's pushing himself to start everything he can by watching YouTube videos and reading books. Eric. I've currently lived in Cambodia and have been there almost 2 years. I came after a divorce to teach English as well as to learn and to be content being by myself. Lately, I felt very homesick, yet my gut had told me that if I returned to Atlanta, GA, where I'm from, I would regret it. I have an idea of wanting to start a business, exporting some rare food items from here that are not available in the US, and should be, as I want to share these wonderful ingredients from this lovely country with people in the US. I have a great friend in Atlanta that runs a gourmet food wholesale distribution company that sells many comparable niche items. I have a product, I have a way to distribute the product, yet I had no idea how to start, yet ran my own business. Since I watched your TED Talk, I have purchased and already read half of a Starting Your Own Import-Export Business book along with several YouTube videos. For the first time in life, I have an idea that I am passionate about that could actually become my own business. That's how you discover your passion. You 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 explore until you bump into it. Build momentum. It will start as just an instinct. It always does. First, you take a class leads to a certification leads to conversations lead to opportunities, small opportunities lead to larger ones. Maybe you will want to share something that what you are learning with people at work, so you use the rule, push yourself to do it. That's when momentum kicks in. You will cast me as things actually start to happen, but you will thank yourself for finding the courage to trust your heart and explore what you find fascinating. Joe, a banker in London, is a fabulous example of how something small like taking one class can grow into something remarkable like a whole new career. This story is an unbelievable example of how momentum builds from something small. Check this out. Joe, a banker in London, is a fabulous example of how something small like taking one class can grow into something remarkable like a whole new career. This story is an unbelievable example of how momentum builds from something small. Check this out. Joanne McKellen, well, that's very long, so I'm not gonna read it. As your exploration picks up momentum, you will move into the next phase, actually pursuing your passion full time. At some point, the side business of photography will become your real business. Your presentation to the Bank of Scotland will become a full-blown speaking career. The courage to commit. There's no magic formula for one to pull the trigger and turn a passion into a passion-driven career or a major life change. It requires planning and some slow, deep thinking. If you are anything like the rest of us, you will torture yourself for a while until you can understand or you can stand struggling your present life and the future one. Michael had a major passion that she wanted to turn into a company and had been wanting to do it for years, but have just held back. She 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 pushed herself to announce the start of my new business. Now she has a reason not to hit that snooze button anymore. Michael 𝕊𝕐𝕔𝕠𝕟𝕕. I used the 5-second rule today to announce the start of my new business of horse and rider portraits. I have been wanting to do it for years, but have just held back. I can't wait and now have something to do, something not to hit that snooze button for. Thank you, Mel. We all deserve to wake up so excited that we no longer want to hit that snooze button, just like Michael. If you're thinking about making the leap like her, make sure to be intentional about how you ask yourself the question. You need to ask yourself the hard first question. Am I ready to commit this? Instead of feeling first question. Do I feel ready to commit to this? You will never feel ready. The moment you answer yes to the question, am I ready to commit this? You will need to use the rule to give yourself the final push. Even when you are ready, it's not going to feel good when you do it. Just ask Todd in Australia. Todd has known for a long time exactly what he is passionate about, physical education. He's always dreamed of teaching it and having his own personal training business. As a high schooler, Todd knew that he wanted to pursue a degree in physical education, but his parents said, "Oh no, you can't do that." They pressured him to pursue a professional degree instead. 4 years later, Todd was a senior in a dual major program split between law and business. His heart was never in it. As Todd described in an email, that little voice was constantly in the back of his head, silently echoing. Why did he stay in that major? Simple, his feelings. The thought of disappointing his parents overwhelmed him. Every single day, he thought about withdrawing and going to a different college to study physical education, but he felt paralyzed. Walking into the registrar's office and filing out paperwork is easy. Facing the disappointment of your parents is soul crushing. For almost 4 years, Todd had wanted to withdraw, but he didn't know how to face his fears or his parents. The 5-second rule is how he finally did it. Todd was sitting in a law S5513 lecture on advanced taxation law when he realized that he was ready. As Todd put it, "I can attest to you that the dislike I had for such a program, I wanted to withdraw from the moment I started. But what is perhaps most disturbing about this entire situation is that I had literally allowed myself to study a degree up to the final year before I decided I was entirely and completely done with hating my life." Todd could see the future. My parents would send me off to my master's and I would go living my life for everyone but me. He described the instinct to act and the 5-second decision that made it happen. Just start. I need to withdraw. I gathered up my books and stood up in the middle of the class and left. His body was shaking, but he was moving straight to the registrar's office where he enrolled from the university. He then got into the car and drove 2 hours south of Brisbane to the Queensland University of Technology where he applied for the degree of his dreams. That fateful Tuesday morning was 2 years ago. Todd is now 24 years old and halfway through his teaching degree and has never had this much fun in life. He has been accepted into the honors education program for next year. As he puts it, I have found my purpose. This is in fact exactly what I was supposed to be doing all along. As for his parents, yes, they were disappointed when he initially told them that he didn't want to be a lawyer. But they were way more disappointed by the fact that Todd had been scared to tell them and unhappy for so long. Have faith. I believe you can make anything happen as long as you listen to your heart. Do the work and give up your timeline. One of my favorite books is the international bestseller, The Alchemist. It's one of the best-selling books of all time and has been translated into 80 languages. I have recommended it for more than a decade, and as I was writing this book, I bought myself a new copy to keep me inspired and reminded that the whole universe conspires to help you when you follow your heart. When I cracked open the 25th anniversary edition, I was blown away by a story in the foreword of the book. I had no idea that when The Alchemist was first published in Brazil, it failed miserably. When The Alchemist was first published 25 years ago in my native Brazil, no one noticed. A bookseller in the northeast corner of the country told me that only one person purchased a copy the first week of its release. It took another 6 months for the bestseller to unload a second copy. The bookseller to unload a second copy. And that was the same person who bought the first. And who knows how long it took to sell the third. By the end of the year, it was clear to everyone that The Alchemist wasn't working. My original publisher decided to cut me loose and cancel our contract. They wiped their hands off the project and let me take the book with me. I was 41 and desperate. But I never lost faith in the book or ever wavered in my vision. Why? Because it was me in there. All of me, heart and soul. I was living my own metaphor. A man sets out on a journey, dreaming of a beautiful or a magical place in pursuit of some unknown treasure. At the end of his journey, the man realizes the treasure was with him the entire time. 41 and desperate? I got chills when I read that line. That's how old I was when I discovered the 5-second rule. That's exactly how I felt. What I have come to realize is there is no expiration date on discovering and expressing the power of you. And as Coelho wrote in the foreword, it starts with a belief in yourself. And that belief is grounded in the courage to push yourself. I was following my personal legend, and my treasure was my capacity to write. And I wanted to share this treasure with the world. I started knocking on doors of other publishers. One opened, and the publisher on the other side believed in me and my book and agreed to give The Alchemist a second chance. Slowly, through the word of mouth, it finally started to sell. 3,000, then 6,000, 10,000 book by book gradually throughout the year. The book became an organic phenomenon, and the rest is history. It is considered one of the 10 best books of the 20th century. When interviewers asked Coelho whether or not he knew that it would be a success, this is what he had to say. The answer is no, I had no idea. How could I? When I sat down to write The Alchemist, all I knew is that I wanted to write about my soul. I wanted to write about my quest to find my treasure. The answers are inside of you, if you have the courage to listen. If you're like some other people, and like no other person, you have something remarkable to share with the world. It starts with listening to what's inside of you and ends with the courage to go where it leads. Follow it. Don't tell people your dreams. Show them. And that is all for chapter 16. Tomorrow I'll be reading chapter 17. Please make sure to follow, like, share, and subscribe to my channel. As you can see, right here. My OBS is a little weird at the moment, but it's okay though. So please make sure to follow me, subscribe, like, and share. Save this video. If you haven't listened to the previous chapters, go and listen to them on my TikTok channel and my YouTube channel. This is Daniel. See you on the next one.